Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with the Heat for the Streets, man. It's like, hey, Showtime. Look, um, shout out to Ticket TV. Bruh, I love your channel. I love your content. I love all your basketball shit, bro. But can we chill on calling the Golden State Warriors the worst team in the league? Can we do that, please? I seen the video last night, bro. I'm just confused as to why you think they're the worst team in the league. I mean, Mark Jackson do deserve a job, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he deserved a Warriors job right now. Because do you think he wouldn't be 1-3 with this roster? This new look roster, this roster that, by the way, not only got a bunch of new pieces on it from his bench, and what I'm saying, the starting lineup with D'Angelo Russell, what I'm saying. Never mind that you going never mind that he gonna have to start at point guard now that Steph Curry is injured with his broken left hand in the middle of the third quarter last night. Um, which is what I thought Steve Kerr was going to do at the beginning of the season. I would have started D'Angelo Russell at the point guard and let Steph, what I'm saying, be a shooting guard since you don't got Klay Thompson. I figured with Klay healthy, they probably would have said, okay, Steph at the one, um, D'Lo at the two, Klay at the three, Dre at the four. I don't know who's gonna be at day five, but yeah. But I would have started D'Angelo Russell at the point guard at first, at the first game because I would have said, okay, Steph is still dangerous enough, Steph is still lethal enough, and enough of a threat to where he can go out there and do what he has to do and still be effective because people not gonna crowd him as much. D'Angelo Russell can blaze down the court and score too. And then you got Draymond who can do his thing, shoot from the outside, be a pick and roll partner, play defense. Like I said, I don't know what they really was going to do at the three. I don't know what they really was going to do at the five. And they bench is kind of a mismatch of young players and some veterans. I mean, I really don't know what they bench is right now. But to call them the worst team in the league at 1-3, come on, it's early. It's more games to be played. We don't know what Phoenix is really going to be. They could be the same old Suns. All right, they beat the Warriors. Um, they beat the Warriors early in the season, and come February, March, April, Devin Booker again is another young star, another great ball player, sitting at home not playing playoff basketball, and Steph Curry, D'Angelo Russell, and Draymond Green are in the playoffs. Now, will they win the finals? No. Will they get to the finals? No. They have too many problems on that roster to be a finals team, to be a contender right now with the injury to Klay Thompson again, uh, a new look roster again. But Steve Kerr is a good enough coach, a great enough coach, the way I think he can turn it around. And people talking about Steve Kerr right now because of what the Warriors are doing. Can we talk about Brad Stevens, who has gotten the Eastern Conference Finals but never broke through? Can we talk about Billy Donovan, who in his first year got the Oklahoma City Thunder to um, the Western Conference Finals, and then the next 2 years with pretty much the same roster, and you add Paul George and you add Melo, and then Melo leaves, and then you still get Paul George, but they're first round out to a rookie Donovan Mitchell, a team that in Utah people thought they was gonna beat in 5 games, and then you got who? Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum, a team that everybody thought was a team that last year the year before they got punked by New Orleans, and then a team, and then a team that people thought had the inferior point guard, had the inferior guards, period. If you're talking about C.J. McCollum versus Paul George. And guess what? Guess what Damian Lillard did? you know what I'm saying, shot that joint for 60 feet in PG face and waved goodbye. Said, look, that era of OKC is over. Paul George, Melo, Russell Westbrook, your franchise cornerstone after Kevin Durant and James Harden left. Yeah, all that's over. And guess what? Russell Westbrook in Houston and Paul George is in LA. You know what I'm saying? And I say all that to pretty much say, like, we can talk about Steve Kerr all we want, but can we talk about the other two dudes that had expectations and didn't meet them? Steve Kerr got 3 championships, dog. Steve Kerr got 3 championships. And you can say it's off the back of what Mark Jackson did when he was first in Golden State and, you know, did that. But me personally, I think Steve Kerr took him to another level that I don't think Mark Jackson could have, especially with Steph Curry and his scoring output. Because that scoring output really helped them be as dynamic as they are. With Mark Jackson, it was pretty much like, all right, he was running Steph Curry as more of a traditional point guard. That's why if you look at his numbers pre-Steve Kerr, his scoring output was still good, but he was scoring like, all right, 22, 23 to 24 points. And he was dishing out, what, maybe 7.5 assists? You go and you look at Steve Kerr. The first couple years that Steph got coached by him, he won 2 MVPs. One unanimous. And the second year when he won the unanimous MVP, he scored 30 points a game. And he was only dishing out, what, maybe 5 or 6 assists? So his assist numbers dropped, his efficiency went up, and the scoring went up. You can't tell me that Mark Jackson could have did that with Steph. And if you look at Draymond and Clay, Draymond was damn near out of the league. He said it himself. He said Mark Jackson wasn't using me right. Mark Jackson didn't know what he had in Draymond Green. Andre Iguodala was still flourishing, but Andre Iguodala wasn't coming off the bench. He was still starting and being that, you know, that veteran presence that they kind of needed early on to show them, you know, how to win and, you know, how to get into the playoffs and, do the stuff that they ended up needing to do in order to win those 3 championships. I don't think Mark Jackson could have won a championship with that roster. Maybe he'd have won 1, but I don't think that he'd have won 3 like Steve Kerr. Because Steve Kerr knew what he had in Steph and Clay and Draymond. Shoot. And he had 2 of the greatest shooters of all time. So to call, and currently he has 1. And another guy who can at least give you 25 a night. Possibly if they work everything out and they get the chemistry together, because that's the one thing that people don't like take for granted with Golden State. They look at the talent, but they don't look at the chemistry that those dudes had during that run. And also another thing, Golden State is going through what every championship team has gone through after their initial run. Their 3, 4, 5 year window. The Detroit Pistons of the 80s, the Bulls in the 90s, even though they kept kind of winning, they had some inner turmoil that a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, later found out about and put out and published books and did videos on and other stuff like that. But you never really saw that because the Bulls never lost. It never kind of spilled out into that public atmosphere, but well, some of it did, but a lot of it didn't, and it was overshadowed because they won 6 championships in 6 tries. But Golden State got 3 for a reason. Not because of the talent, but because of the chemistry. And you look at even teams that probably only won 1 chip, like the Boston Celtics. They had a bunch of inner turmoil. Like Ray Allen wasn't close with the other 2 of the big 3. He wasn't close with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. He wasn't close with Rondo. They still ended up winning the championship. And still ended up getting back to the playoffs, got back to another final, got back to a couple more Eastern Conference finals. The Detroit Pistons of the early 2000s, what? They went to the conference finals, what? From 03 to 08? They only won 1 chip. But they kept going back to the Eastern Conference finals, not because of their talent, but because of their chemistry. Hell, they fired Larry Brown. They let Larry Brown go, the dude that ended up winning them a title, and they won more games with Flip Saunders in one season than than they did with Larry Brown to get they won the chip. So to me, it's a combination of injuries to Clay and and some decline in health with Steph, possible with the broken hand, Draymond not being as good as he was during the initial run, and chemistry issues. They don't have the same squad. They don't have the same people. But the one constant that they will have for the foreseeable future until he retires, or until they both retire, is Steve Kerr and Steph Curry. And Draymond, if you want to count that, and Clay gonna be there for a few more years because he signed the max deal. But they don't have that type of chemistry right now. They don't have that type of camaraderie right now, and it's just showing. That and they lack a defense because when they played Phoenix last night, it was a bunch of late rotations that led to a bunch of 3-pointers. You know what I'm saying? Late help on a bunch of switches. You know what I'm saying? 3 people crowding the rim to a driving play and then a kick out to an open 3-point shooter that they just couldn't get it together. And so that's what's wrong with the Golden State. But I don't think they worse. I don't think they as bad as Charlotte. I don't think they as bad as the Wizards probably going to be come late in the season. And maybe we may see. I don't know. I like some of the Wizards players. Maybe the Wizards might actually make the playoffs this year. I don't think they're going to be as bad as Minnesota. Who, and I know people going to say, "Oh man, it's Philly," but yeah, y'all got your ass waxed last night. So to the Minnesota fans, yeah, y'all got waxed. I mean, Andrew Wiggins is not that dude. Karl-Anthony Towns may not be that dude. I mean, he had monster games, but sometimes I feel like the dude plays soft. I think the dude play like he don't want it sometimes. But the call Golden State the worst team in the league is just blasphemous. It's just insane. It's just mind-blowing that somebody that knows basketball, claims he knows basketball, can sit there and say that Golden State is the worst team in the league. They may be playing like it, but I don't think they're the worst team in the league, and I think it's going to show come, you know what I'm saying, once they get that chemistry together and once Steph finally get healthy, they might actually turn this thing around. We never know.